questions about the forms you're filling out, just so that it's easier for you to fill those out while I'm talking about the other things. On the location information, our lodging location while at Montreat is the Winsboro Inn, Winsborough. Winsboro Inn. I'll spell it one more time. And I think I have it right. Some years I think I spell it right. Some years I think it has two N's. But they'll know where we are. Winsborough. If you would make sure that you are the emergency contact listed for your child or youth, or if you are an adult, that you have an emergency contact that is outside of Montreat, these forms will all be in a notebook that says John Wesley, and they will know that I'm the emergency contact that is on site with them. So they will contact me first to come to where the child is or the youth is if there is an emergency, and we will also have the information right here to get in touch with you if necessary. So if you'll just make sure that you are the emergency contact on there, they will know to contact either Hope or myself or David in an emergency with one of our children or youth. We hope that doesn't happen. And then if you are, we are going, unless you're an adult that's going week 1 and you know that, the children and youth and chaperones are week 2. And if they are in rising 4th through 6th grade, they're child registered. Rising 7th through 9th grade are middlers. Rising 10th through 12th are senior highs. Yeah. Say that again? And just graduated are also senior highs. Thank you. Johnny, you and Eli are young adults registered, and I think everybody else is an adult registered. Our arrival date is June 26th, and our departure date is July 2nd. If anybody else if you need any more help with that, I'll be happy to help you once we've finished the meeting. In years past, for those of you who've gone, we have also needed a copy of your insurance card, but we are now using this form that David developed, and so that information will be on here. Montreat itself does not need your information. If we end up having an emergency, we'll have this if we need to go take them to the hospital or anything like that. And knock on wood, we've never had to do that before, so, but we need to have it just in case. So if you will fill this form out, and it says youth, but we would like all the children and all the youth to have this form and the activity permission form to fill out. Again, if you have any questions about that, please let me know. We just are so thrilled and excited that we're able to take this trip this year. The last time that we were able to take children and youth to the conference because of COVID was in 2019. So it's been 3 years since we've had a group of children and youth. John Wesley Methodist Church usually has one of the largest groups at Montreat. I'm not sure that will be the case this year because we are not back 100% yet, but we're so excited we have a big group. We have 28 people going week 2, and we have 8 adults going week 1. So we're thrilled about that. We're a large presence at the conference, and we're excited about that, even though they're Presbyterians and we're Methodists. They'll know who we are. The daily schedule is sort of each group. The children are grouped in their own activities, the middlers and the senior highs, and then the adults. And each group has classes from the morning till the evening, or late in the afternoon, and then there are separate evening activities. And to give you an example of the schedule, the children will have 2 different sessions of choir, a music class, an art class, a Bible class, and a fun and games class where they run and play and are outside. The middlers and youth, I believe, we made some choices, and they helped out with these choices. There's a drumming class, there's a handbell class in addition to their choirs. They are also, all youth are placed in a small group, and we're fortunate this year that 2 of the small group leaders are from John Wesley. David will be a small group leader, and Keith Aikman will also be a small group leader. So 2 of the small group leaders for our youth this year, and I'm not sure if they will purposefully not put our children or our youth with them as small group leaders or if that will be a thing, but we are thrilled for them to be representing us as small group leaders and grateful for them doing that. The evening schedule, there are different things that go on each evening. Sunday night, when we first arrive, there will be a worship service, and we will all go to that together, everyone who comes from John Wesley. Monday night is an organ recital, and we will not require the children and youth to go to the organ recital. Adults can make their own choice about that, but that will probably be a creek night where David and Hope will take the youth and children down to the creek and play around in the creek. We'll talk about a little bit what they need for the creek because things don't always dry out in Montreat when we're there. But that's what happens then. Tuesday night, there's a talent show for the children and youth to participate in. And if your child or youth is interested in participating in the talent show, you can see me after the meeting, and we'll kind of talk about what they need to do. There's an audition on Sunday when we get there. And if they're not interested, it's a wonderful time. We'll all go and watch. There usually are some great, talented and funny and just all around good entertainment at the talent show on Tuesday night. Wednesday night is typically a hymn fest. Sometimes the children and youth participate in that, and if those choirs participate in that, we will take our children and youth there to be participants. If they do not participate, we will probably choose that as another night to have an activity with just our John Wesley people. That is a long, sometimes arduous service that is great for adults, and some years it's absolutely done fantastically for all generations, and sometimes it's not. So we'll make the decision as adults at John Wesley, if our children and youth are not participating, as to whether we'll use that as an activity or do something else that's fun for them. Thursday night is a chamber choir concert, and our senior high youth and adults will have the opportunity to audition for a smaller choir. Their choirs will be anywhere, and again, it's hard to say this after COVID because everyone is still recovering, but pre-COVID, those choirs with children and youth could be from anywhere from 100 to 200 children and youth in each choir. And they'll probably be slightly smaller this year. But then the senior highs and the adults will have the ability to audition on Sunday if they wish to into a chamber choir that's about 24 people. And they will practice with that group all during the week and present a concert on Thursday night. And what our rule kind of has been in the past is if we have people at John Wesley that make those choirs and are participating in them, the rest of us will go and be supportive of them and watch them. And it's typically a wonderful concert and lasts about an hour. So, again, it's a wonderful opportunity. If we don't, again, I have a feeling we will. Because every year we've had people who have auditioned and made those groups, and we're excited about that. We do not force anyone to audition for those, but they are certainly welcome, and I will help them. We typically do not get there in time for the auditions for talent show and chamber choir, thank you, in the afternoon because we leave after church. So we will audition after opening worship, which is kind of a late time on Sunday evening, but we'll make sure that everybody gets where they're going to the locations where they would need to audition. We'll have enough adults to help those children and youth get to those auditions and then get back home. They don't take long, but they just have to, it'll be night time by that time, and we'll get them where they need to go and stay with them while they audition. We hope that all of our children and youth will represent John Wesley in a positive and excellent way, and we know that they will, and there will be enough of us adults there helping them and spurring them on. We have plenty of chaperones. All of our chaperones from John Wesley this year, actually every adult we have going, even if we're not really considering them a chaperone, and they are fully registered for the conference. All of our adults going week 2 are trained in our child protection and sexual abuse program here at John Wesley. And we have also all signed off on a policy that Montreat has that is similar to ours, just so that you're aware of that. And all of the faculty members at Montreat also sign off on this policy that Montreat has, and like I said, that is similar to ours. If you did not get a backpack, we are putting the children are green this year, the youth are orange, and the adults are red. So if you'll bring that backpack, you are welcome to write on it with a permanent marker your name. John Wesley United Methodist Church is already on there, but however you want to decorate it or whatever, you're welcome to do that. The backpack is yours. We would like for you to put whatever you're bringing on the bus for the ride up in that bag. Your suitcase and any other things that you'll need for the week are going to go under the bus. so that we'll have more room on the bus than we typically do because we have a smaller group. Typically, we take up every single seat, but it's worked very well for them to contain the things they're bringing on the bus in that bag right there. They will also use that bag, children and youth and adults if you wish to, will use that bag to go around during the week. We will bring our choir folders here from John Wesley, and when they get their music, we will make sure it's all in their folder, and the things that they need to go around to each class, a pencil and their schedule. They'll have a worship booklet that has all the orders of worship in it. We'll make sure they have all of that, and that they'll carry it around in their backpack all during the week, and that is also a great way for us to identify from far, far away who the children and youth from John Wesley are, because they have their little backpack on the back across campus. For those youth and children who are going, there in the worship booklet, there will also be a map of Montreat and a schedule. We will send all of our children with adults to every single thing. So anybody who's in Rising 4th through Rising 6th grade will travel with an adult to and from all of their classes. They will get to the point where they would like to travel by themselves, but they will pretty much travel with an adult all the time. Our youth, we will definitely help them the first day or two to get where they're going, and then they will have a little bit more freedom to travel to and from classes in groups. They will never be by themselves, but they will travel in groups. And we have a small group. We have 6 middlers and 7 senior highs going, so I think they will want to stick together and travel together, probably with the whole group. But if we have to send them, we'll send them at least in groups of 2 or 3. Food and snacks. We welcome them to bring snacks. We will have 3 very nice meals per day that are paid for in what you paid. And we will not monitor what they put on their plate every day, but we do have a conversation about what that kind of needs to look like in order for them to stay healthy and not be sick during the week. This is what we found out over the years, that it would be best if they do not keep food and snacks in their own bag or their own room, because then we have no idea what they've been eating all week. If we can kind of walk around in the dining room, we know who's been eating what or who's been drinking 5 chocolate milks for their breakfast instead of eating food. These boys over here did that, so that's how we learned that. No. And if they have cookies in their room, they'll eat cookies instead of eating dinner. We're aware of all of these things. We will all welcome snacks, but if you'll just let us once we're there off the bus, we have a kitchen in our house, and so we'll put the snacks in the kitchen. They can come to us and ask for that, and we'll be happy to dole out the snacks. I do not believe we have anyone that's allergic to. We don't know that for sure right now, but once you fill these forms out, I'll send an email out. We have in past years asked for no peanuts and that kind of thing, but I don't believe we have anybody right now that I'm aware of. We prefer no hats and no gum. It's just better in choir practice if there's not that kind of thing. It's just kind of we like to represent John Wesley well. If there is an opportunity for us to have gum, we'll have it, but we will not sing ever with gum in our mouth because we can't do that well. We have rooming assignments. We will tell you when we arrive in Montreat who you're rooming with. That works best because then you don't have the opportunity to argue with me about who you're rooming with. Hope and I spend several hours putting the rooming list together, and it's very carefully done so that you will have a great week and enjoy your time at Montreat. We also do that according to our child protection policy, so we've got all the elementary kids, girls in one area and vice versa. We're on 2 halls. We have a downstairs hall and an upstairs hall in the place where we are. And so we've also strategically placed our male and female chaperones throughout that. At nighttime, the kids will be assigned to a chaperone. So if their chaperone is Hope and they have an issue in the middle of the night, they will know where to find Hope. If they are on the 2nd floor and their chaperone is Leanne, they will find Leanne in the middle of the night. And we will have Tums and ibuprofen if you need to send any other kind of medication. And Hope's going to speak to that a little more in detail in a minute. If you'll please put any medication that your child takes in a bag, and Hope or David. I'm going to let her have the floor in just a second. We've given you a water bottle with your name on it this year, so you're welcome to bring that or your own water bottle. If you did not get one, please let me know. For those of you who are not here at the meeting, we'll make sure you get your water bottle and your backpack. If you have not made your final payments, I am happy to help you with that after the meeting is over on an individual basis, because most have paid a deposit, some have paid in full, but if you need information about that, I'll be happy to help you with that. Also, before you leave, if I could have the forms back, that would be great. If you are a middler or a senior high or an adult who is registered for handbells, there's a Google survey, and if you were sent that in an email and filled it out yourself, that's great. If you either were not sent that, I found today several things that went to my spam from the Presbyterian Association of Musicians. And also they send me a lot of that stuff because I register us as a group with my email on it. So I need all the middlers, all the senior highs, and all the adults to fill out that Google form. And if for some reason they're not here tonight, the kids are not here tonight, and you're uncomfortable speaking to, what it asks them is how many years they've been ringing, what bells they like to play, and all that. So if you're not comfortable with that, I will send out that form or that email tomorrow that has that survey on it. And if you would please talk your child or youth into, I don't think it's any big deal if they don't send it out. They won't get their exact bell assignment that they love their bells, is what that's probably going to mean. It won't mean they don't get to play. The last thing that I want to say is we are going to sing in worship the day that we leave. So all of the Montreat participants, it's kind of great for our congregation to see how many children, youth, and adults that we have going. So we are asking all the youth that are going to wear their JW Servant Tour 2022 shirt that day. And if the children would wear any Montreat t-shirt, any John Wesley t-shirt that you have, whether it's a Mayday Play Day or a past Kids Ways to Praise or VBS t-shirt, any t-shirt that says John Wesley United Methodist Church on it. If you don't have one, Hope has extras, so if you'll see her before you leave tonight. We're going to practice with those of you who are here, anybody that's going week 2. We're going to practice the music that we're going to sing on that Sunday. We're also going to practice on that Sunday morning for anybody that's not here tonight. And the songs that we're singing are mostly familiar to some of you, or to most of you, and then easy to teach. So I think everybody can participate with us. We'll sit up here. Because we have worship in both of these spaces now, we used to put our luggage in the gym when we got here. We're going to put it in the choir room. So when you arrive, we've asked you to arrive at 9:30 so that the kids can also go to Sunday school. We'll take their luggage anytime between the services in the choir room, and we'll keep that locked up during 11 o'clock service while we're out here. And then as the bus gets here and some adults will be available to go start loading the bus. We also ask that on that Sunday they bring a lunch that we will eat in the gym as soon as that service is over, and once the bus is packed, and we'll be out of here. Thank you. In years past, we haven't had to do any homework ahead of time. This year, they have asked us, Charlotte, what do we do with those? They might be in my office. Will you go get them? We've been asked for each person, I say this because I'm nervous about my own self doing this. Each person has been asked to make 12 origami peace cranes. We have a set of directions that Charlotte nor I are able to follow. So there is a YouTube video where you can learn to make your peace crane, or if you want to bring the 12 papers we give you tonight that are meant for your origami peace cranes on the bus, we will make sure that everyone gets their peace cranes made before we get to Montreat. I also read today, after Charlotte had made one peace crane, that we're supposed to put a person's name on each peace crane on the paper before we start folding it, because once you fold it, there's no room to put a person's name on it. Someone you would pray for. So I'm going to ask that each of you put my name on one. I'm really just kidding. But somehow during worship that week, they're going to use the peace cranes as a prayer offering. And so if that is something that you're able to do, I personally am never going to ask my choir children, youth, or adults to do anything that I know for sure will cause stress in their family. And so if those origami cranes cause stress for you or your family, Please just bring the papers back, and we will help your child or youth get those
Somebody's
made.
bound to be good at it, and when we figure out
I
who
think
that
Johnny is, but he hasn't tried yet.
Yeah.
He has some very hidden, crazy skills, and I think that might be one of them. So please don't allow that to cause stress. Just bring the papers with them, and we'll get through it all together. But if that's a project that would be really fun for you in the next week and a half, 12 peace cranes with names on them.
And if you're really good at it, let us know.
Yeah, yes. And you'll sit at the front of the bus and make peace cranes all the way to Montreat. Okay. Also, we've been asked to bring socks. So if you have time, any time between now and the time we go to Montreat, if you would just, I think Hope and David would be best to collect those.
Yes.
New socks, they're going to somehow also use those in worship as a gathering, it's a garment to cover. I
Yes,
can't remember the exact.
it goes with the scripture that day.
Yes. No.
Just any kind. It's probably similar to what we do, I would imagine, like with our sock and knitting tree, just any like new socks in a variety of sizes and color. Any of that is fine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And we'll have a basket or something that Sunday morning, and your kids don't have to keep up with the socks all week or decide to wear them on Tuesday or whatever. We'll collect all of them, and then whatever day we need that, we'll make sure the kids all grab some to participate.
And we will bring a few extra pairs. Again, no stress. If you forget those Sunday morning, we're going to make sure that our kids all are able to provide a pair of socks in the worship service to be a part of that. So, but those are two things we've been asked to do ahead of time. I think I'm going to turn it over to Hope.
Can you just address the
Absolutely.
outfit for final program?
I'll talk about
Oh,
that. Oh, you can.
okay. Yes, I already addressed the one for church, and thank you for bringing that up. And let me just say, all during the week, it is not a dressy place. It's the mountains, and we're going to be walking a lot. We definitely would like for them to have comfortable shoes to walk around in. And shorts and T-shirts and all of that are fine. Everyone that is going, that's registered, will receive a Montreat T-shirt or a Montreat, the Worship and Music Conference T-shirt, and we're going to ask them to wear those on Friday of the conference. Friday night, there is a final performance, and we typically like our John Wesley people to dress up a little bit. We used to say church clothes, but it will be hot. So a sundress is fine, shorts are fine. We just like to a little bit stand out as like we knew that this was a little bit different than all day, every day running around the mountains. Some groups do that and some don't. So again, there won't be anybody that stands out as looking funny, but we just kind of like our kids to know that that's a little bit different than what we've been doing all week, that it's a performance and we look a little bit different. But I would definitely suggest, particularly for boys, to wear shorts, and for girls to wear something that is very cool, a dress or something like that. So.
And on Sunday morning, when the day that we leave, that you're wearing your John Wesley T-shirts, it's totally fine that day to have on like shorts with that too, like just look neat, like you're going to be in front of the church, but we'll be in front of the church representing John Wesley as we go to Montreat. Is it good?
Yes. Let me say one more thing.
I think you my list anyway.
The COVID protocols for Montreat are what's in place in the state of North Carolina and in Buncombe County, North Carolina. And for Montreat Conference Center, they have their own set of protocols. At present, masks are not required, and so that's what we're going with. One of the things that they are doing differently since COVID that we quite frankly like, because we travel with a large group, we've always had to save seats in worship in those places where we're all together. We will have a reserved section for John Wesley, and we will sit in the same place all week so that we're not, we'll be a little bit more spread out in the auditorium, and we'll have our own location. If anyone should get sick during the week, whether it is COVID or a stomach bug or whatever, because we do not have enough chaperones to quarantine anyone for any length of time, because we would require 2 chaperones to be with a child who's quarantined, one-on-one cannot work, we don't have that many adults to give up. So you will be receiving a call if your child becomes sick, and you will have to come to Montreat and get them, I am afraid. That I don't know any other way around that. And that's kind of, we've had 1 or 2 children get sick.
We've had people get sick before, and people, not a lot to go home, but we've had to call or to tend to that. But we've also had a little bit more flexibility in who could stay back and how that could work, and we have less of that this year.
And your child will be taken care of until you can get there.
Absolutely.
I'm not at all saying they won't, but we don't have the means for days on end if somebody gets sick on Wednesday to give up 2 adults for the rest of the people that also need chaperoning. So you will receive a call if that should happen during the week. Any other questions about that? I'm going to turn it over to Hope. She'll give you some specifics about children, and then David will send an email with some specifics about youth. This was the only date we could come up with where even 2 out of 3 of us could be here. David is in the Bahamas on a youth mission trip. So
A lot of what I will say, though, is true for the youth. There may be a couple of nuances there that deal with electronics and things like that he may make a different decision about. And I feel like the last year we went, there was actually a different decision about electronics. It was different for middle and for high school. So he'll communicate that with y'all. But some of these things are true for all. Electronics for children. You are allowed to bring an electronic device, whatever you need to charge it, that type of thing. And you will be, what I would like for you to do is if you would put the device, the charger, anything that goes with that, like some years people bring like the little games or whatever, like if you have things that go with that, in a Ziploc bag with your child's name on it. I also really kind of like a little index card or a piece of paper in there that lists what's supposed to be in the bag so that I make sure they get that back. They will be able to have those things on the bus. When we get to Montreat, this is for children for sure. I think it has also been true for middle school. I think high school has had some more flexibility, but David will speak to that. When we get to Montreat, I'm going to collect those electronic devices. I don't think that's a good thing to have in rooms overnight for a lot of reasons. I will collect them. I will keep them in my room. And when we have free time, there will be free time during the week where one of the options will be to get on your electronics, to call home or to play a game or to listen to your music. And I will give those back. I will also make sure that before we come home, and we're all on the bus again, I will charge everything the night before so that all your stuff is ready to go. But the children will not have their electronics with them unlimited during the week. Most of the teachers, as all teachers for the most part, I don't want to see our children and youth like on their phones while someone is trying to teach them or show them something. I also don't want anybody's phone in the creek or the lake or lost where we have to then find it. So, but the other part about that is it really is kind of a distraction, and it's a unique experience to be able to go and engage with each other without that constant phone and electronics. So that will be an option. As far as calling home, children will be, again, we usually are done with our day, and this is true for youth too. We usually leave the Winsboro about 7 o'clock so that we have time to eat before the first class, which is usually like at 8. Mm-hmm. And we have, at lunch, there's usually a little 45-minute to an hour kind of break after lunch where they actually can watch a TV and they think it's amazing. I mean, it's in the lobby of the place where we eat, but that's their one exposure to a TV. And then usually our classes are wrapped up around 4. Dinner is usually at 5:30. So usually between 4 and 5:30, that's usually not a time to get in the creek for me and them, just because you don't want to be creek at dinner. But they have a big fun hill that kids play on, and Sam will bring some, like a football and some stuff like that. Sam is our other adult chaperone that's not registered for the conference. Sam is my son, if you don't know him, and he has been going to Montreat, my children, Margaret's children, since they were very, very young, and have participated at all levels. And he was David's intern a few years and went with the youth. He's very familiar with everything, and will be another person so that I don't have to be in 2 places at once. Traveling with the children do have to have a chaperone. They have to have a chaperone from each group in their classes too. So that just allows us some flexibility. And then at night, Johnny and Eli and Carrie and Keith and really all of us, whoever wants to go to the creek, we go to the creek, or we play on the hill, or walk around. There's lots of things that you can do. So they'll always be attended by by adults. But y'all have way more fun playing on the hill with Sam than you would with me. But there'll be some time to do that. And usually from that 4 to 5:30 time is usually a time where I'm happy for, if we're not going to go play on the hill, some might want to stay and have electronics. I always take my phone with me, and now if you don't have my number, I think all the children folks, I should be in your phone and you're in mine.
It's also on the information.
But I will, if they want to call while we're out at the hill, like I will let them, that's a good time for them to call. Some people will say about halfway through the week, my child hasn't called me at all, is everything okay? They just didn't use their free time to call you. It's not that they don't love you, they just didn't use their free time to call you. What I don't do, and learn this the hard way, is I do not allow right before bed phone calls. It's just people can be fine all day, but it's a long day and we're tired. Right before bed, phone calls are usually not great, so I don't do that. But I would say any time between 4 and 7 is a time where you could probably reach me if your child hasn't called you and you would like to talk to them. And that will also be a time where they can use my phone, or if they have their electronics, their phone, to call you. You will be able to reach me anytime. I send to the children's parents, I will send like a good morning text, email. I'll attach some pictures, and I'll just let you know that everybody's okay and what we're doing. I'll also, and Sam can too, both of us can post to the John Wesley Facebook page. So we'll post pictures of all the groups throughout the week. So if you follow the John Wesley page, you'll be able to see pictures and stuff there as well. Any questions about the electronics for kids? The second thing, and this is definitely true for youth and adults, if your child takes any type of medication, prescription, or they take a Zyrtec or whatever medication they take or you think they might take, we're going to ask that you put that in a Ziploc bag with the child's name and the instructions about when they receive it, or if it's as needed. And then you will turn those in to me and to David on that Sunday morning. We don't want the kids to have their medication in their bags or in their rooms, again, because we want to, make sure that they're taking what they need to take. We also, if it's, like I said before, if it's not something that they take all the time, like an Advil, or if they have an allergy medicine they take as needed, or anything like that, like I would want to know if they've had a headache for 2 days. I'd like to know that. Even if they've been handling it, it still just helps us to kind of know what's going out and what's in, and they don't share it with someone else, even well-meaning. So we will take that, and I've become very good at this. Like, I will make sure that your child takes that medicine at the exact time that you tell me they should take it. And if we need to sing happy birthday while the eardrops go in the ear, I can do that. We will do that. If it's something that we've had people sometimes that have had something that needed to go into a refrigerator, I can make that happen. And so we will handle that. But if you will also have that medication like in a separate Ziploc bag labeled that Sunday morning, you'll give it directly to me or to David, and then we will make sure that your children receive what they need. And then we will have some general things, some Tums, some Advil. I think we normally have some sort of like an allergy something. We will have those types of things. If I have any doubt about whether or not I should give that to your child, I will contact you before I do. But I think there's actually a place on that form where you can list some things like that as well. I also, because it is a long week and we do get in the creek and things like that, as far as clothes and shoes, please, 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 this is children and youth, things don't dry out in the mountains. So whatever your comfortable shoes are for the daytime to walk around in, those do not need to be the creek shoes. So something specific to wear in the creek.
Because once they get wet, they're not comfortable
Right,
anymore.
And also it's slippery in the creek and it's whatever. So a flip-flop is not always a great idea, but, we've had a variety of things. Old tennis shoes are fine, just not what they're going to wear the rest of the week, because we will leave them outside, but they are not going to be fully dry, and they'll be really uncomfortable with that. The rest of the clothes, I will, those of you that know me, I will do your children's laundry throughout the week, and youth and adults, whoever wants it. Like I'll say this is going to be a laundry night, put it outside the door. One, because we get in the creek, and I have a little touch of OCD, and I just like everything to be clean. Also, their rooms are a total disaster if they change clothes twice. We played on the hill, and they slid down the hill, and I just wash their clothes. So if they don't have to give me their clothes, but if they would like to give me their clothes, they can. If you will make sure that their initials or something are in their clothes, then I can get them back, and we don't have to play a little game called
Panty Round-Up.
Panty Round-Up. The girls are terrible. I would say, girls, if you don't come claim this underwear, I'm going to put them all out on the table, and we're going to play Panty Round-Up. But I will do that, like their towels and things like if they bring a beach towel or something like that. Like I'm happy to do that, and I will if they want me to. And then they come back with not quite as many of a week in the mountain. We slid down the hill, in the front of our shirt. I'll bring shout, live and learn. So that's fine. Some years the laundry is coin-fed. Some years it's not. I think that our inn probably just gets like a discarded something from somewhere else. And so if you are inclined to send like a little roll of quarters to help with the laundry, I would be inclined to receive those. And if we don't use them, I will give them back to you or use them for something else while we're there, or donate them back at John Wesley when we get back here. No, they will provide towels for bath, and that's a great question. They have sheets, all of those things. Everybody's in a bed. A beach towel, some of them like to have that, like when we go. And it probably is nice if we're going to be in the creek or whatever, because those other towels are not super
absorbent.
Yeah. If your child is cold-natured, it is chilly in the morning and warm in the afternoon. Charlotte and I looked at that today. It's like 63 in the morning, and it was mid-80s some in the afternoon. So if they're cold-natured and they might want to have something like that, that's a good idea. A raincoat is also a really great idea because it can rain off and on. It can rain a lot. So if I would definitely say a raincoat is a really great idea to have in there. Other than that, really just what they're going to be comfortable in for the week. Spending money is also on my list. They really don't need any money for anything, any necessity during the week. And if there's some necessity that we've deemed that we needed that we didn't have, we do have a couple of adults that will have a car that can scoot to a grocery store. There's a little store at Montreat. We've got, after this many years, we're pretty good about what we're going to need. They don't need, they're going to have 3 really good meals every day. We'll have some snacks around the house for the afternoon and things like that. The last day, or at some point during the week, I will take all of the children to the Montreat store to get like a souvenir type thing if they want it. Again, that's if they want it. You can get a T-shirt in there for $15 to $20, a sweatshirt probably
25 or 30.
30-ish dollars maybe. They also have bookmarks. There's something at every price point if they want like a souvenir. And I will take them to do that one day, and then we will make sure that those get back in the suitcase and go home. The youth also I think when the youth have free time, they also can probably go in and out of those stores and things too. And one of the stores does have like some snack type stuff and that kind of thing. But they're not going to have a necessity for food. It's 3 big meals every day. And we're super busy during the day, too, so it's not like we're sitting around.
And let me insert for the youth, particularly and the adults, the Huckleberry, which is our usual alternate meal location that you can pay for food in there, hamburgers, hot dogs, and ice cream, which we have typically very much enjoyed, is closed this year for renovations. So we will have an alternate. We usually take the children one night to have ice cream on John Wesley.
Remember, they came to us last year.
Yes.
There was an ice cream night last year.
They are doing that again.
So there will be an ice cream night.
Yes.
And one year they gave it out. One year we had to pay for it. But typically, especially if everybody goes to bed and stays in bed and is lovely, I will pay for the ice cream like a treat. So I'm trying to think the last time maybe I didn't. It could have been Boyd. No, I'm just kidding. It could have been
I was gonna say Johnny.
It could have been like the Boyd, Warren, Ellis. Boy, I'm teasing. They're not going to need anything that they have to have money for. So you judge like what you would. But if you send $100, they're probably going to spend $100. And if you send 40, so have a conversation with your kids about that as well, about what your expectations are for that. And then I'm going to encourage them not to carry around their money the ones that are with me, not to carry around their money the rest of the week. They really don't need it, and I don't want anybody to lose it, and then we get to the time to shop and you don't have it. And if that happens, we will certainly also make sure everybody is happy with what they need. I think I said chaperones. There's a list of other things, I think, in what Margaret gave you about what to bring. And if you have any questions about what to bring or questions, if anybody has a question now, like I'm happy to answer any of those.
Is the blanket for the bus?
Yes, like if you, or if like your child has a blanket that they like to sleep with on their bed, like that's also fine. Yes.
And again, there are pillows and blankets there, but if they like their own pillow or their own...
Yeah, all your basic linens are
provided.
in place. So for the information of again, with the children, all the children's rooms are on the first floor. They are, the boys, the group of boys are in a series of rooms right across from me. The girls are right across from Margaret. The youth, middle, and high are on the second floor. So, and you will know, except for that I'm going to tell the girls, even though you're across from Miss Margaret, at night you will come to me. So, and I will have in my room whatever you need. I would say that within the first couple of days, you're tired by the time we go to bed, and there's no problem with going to bed and being real ready for that good night's sleep. So the children are right there with us, and they will be well watched, and they will have a really good time. And I'm excited. We went last year, and Johnny and Andrew worked for the conference last year. Charlotte is a conference intern this year, but we went with our children last year, and it was fun. It was a really different experience, but I felt lost without, and people would see us and say, we've never seen you without a whole group of kids in the last 20 years. So I'm really glad that we have the children and youth going back with us again this year. It's a special thing.
And for those of you who are new going to Montreat, it is very special for Hope and for myself that our own children have wanted to go into being 24 and 25 and go back with us. And actually, Hope and I have been asked to teach a class next summer on how to engage children all the way through adulthood. They've seen John Wesley there, and they know that the children who come there when they're in third grade are coming back all the way through adulthood, and that's not the case in a lot of churches. And so Hope and I are going to teach a class next year on that. And I think our first thing we're going to say is some of them are our own children, and they do what we tell them to do. But we are
we're
very...
going to bring in Eli's exhibit A.
Right. But we are very blessed here at John Wesley that our church supports, both financially and in other ways, and in letting our children and youth, not letting them, in encouraging our children and youth to be involved in worship and to be involved in choir and to be involved in youth mission trips and children's activities. When we go here, we learn that that isn't the norm for a lot of other churches. And so I just want to say that while we're here, we feel very blessed to be in a church, to be working in a church, and to be able to take this group of children and youth. And we feel very blessed that John Wesley supports us and enables us to be able to do that, because what you are paying is not the full amount. John Wesley is also very much underwriting this trip, and we have a $1,200 fuel surcharge this year that we've never paid before. Again, it's just, it's a wonderful opportunity, and the children and youth will learn lots. They may not be able to verbalize all that when they come back, but again, you'll see it because you'll see them participate in worship and in music here at John Wesley, and we're grateful that that's happening, and we're grateful to you for trusting us and letting us bring your children here to engage and do all of that. And we will keep them safe, and they will have a blast. I can guarantee that. And thank you. We will go to the choir room now. If
And
you
I
are,
want to make sure that Reese knows that I see that she has on a pink Montreat shirt at the Montreat meeting, which I appreciate.
yes,
I figured that. Yes, yes.
awesome.
Yes, I love
Are
that.
there any other questions that I can answer? And if you prefer not to ask them in front of the group, I'll be up here. If you'll turn in your forms, we have a folder up here for that. And then if you are going to Montreat week
Which one?
2, if you'll exit to the choir room, and we'll keep you about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And if you're going week 1, I'll send Hope into the choir room for just a quick second, and I'll talk to the week 1 people because your housing and some of that is also different. Yes. And I've sent y'all an email, but we'll just go over some fine. Okay, yes, I will send that tomorrow. It's a Google form, and that's why they either need to come to my computer or I have to send out the form to you. So, yeah. Could fill their form out? Probably. No, my youth are very flexible. We'll look at the form tomorrow. If I need to send it out, I will. If we're able to glean what we need to, then we will. Hope and I will take care of it. Because there's probably a better, yeah, okay. Well, like I said, mine went to spam. No, it came from Presbyterian Association of Musicians. No, I think it was a good while ago. It was in my spam folder. Yeah. And I guess because it has a link, it has that link in it, and it has several other links, like to the location. I know that sometimes when things have lots of links, they spam. But Hope and I will take a look at that for the youth, and if it's not, it was probably right after we registered them, so. Yeah, and don't worry about it. We'll get it filled out. And if we don't, we'll send it to you.
And like I said, most of our children or youth or any of, like, they are pretty flexible about, like, it's the adults that are more like, this is the only set I can play.
Yes. All right. Thank y'all so much. If you're a parent and you're not going, you don't need to go in there.